In an effort to operate more efficiently, cut costs, and protect the environment, the Missouri Department of Corrections utilizes a wide array of green initiatives. One of those takes place in the state's capital. Each weekday, a selected number of offenders from the Algoa Correctional Center are taken to what was formerly the Central Missouri Correctional Center on the northwest side of Jefferson City to recycle tires. Through an agreement between the Missouri Department of Corrections and the Missouri Department of Natural Resources, DOC's Missouri Vocational Enterprises operates a tire recycling plant at the old prison. Used tires are brought to the tire plant from all over the state. Agencies such as DNR can load tires into trailers that MVE has set up in various locations across Missouri. MVE then brings the tires from the trailers to its plant for shredding. DNR also partners with MVE to have illegal tire dumping sites cleaned up. A crew of 8 to 10 offenders will work to clean up a site. Illegal tire dumps are a breeding ground for snakes and mosquitoes, not to mention an environmental eyesore. The Department of Corrections cleans up approximately 100 to 150 illegal tire dumping sites a year. Tires are placed on a conveyor belt, which drops them into the primary grinder where they are shredded. From there, the shredded tire pieces travel to the chipper. The chipper cuts the pieces the correct size. The pieces are then dropped into the super classifier. The classifier divides the pieces that are too big from the rest and directs them back into the chipper. The pieces that are the correct size travel on the belt out to where they are dispensed into the back of a hauling truck. Extra pieces of wire are siphoned off into a dumpster before the tire pieces reach the truck. Pieces of shredded tires are piled in a lot behind the plant until they are picked up or delivered to power plants. Power plants use the pieces, known as tire-derived fuel or TDF, to mix with coal. Mixing the TDF with coal cuts down on the amount of coal power plants have to purchase, saving them money. In this way, DOC helps dispose of 3,000 to 4,000 tons of scrap tires a year. That amounts to more than 61,000 tons since the process began in 1995. Another unique way DOC reuses waste is through composting. 2 state prisons have an in-vessel composter: Ozark Correctional Center in Fordland and Northeast Correctional Center in Bowling Green. The in-vessel composters were purchased through state grants and save the institutions thousands of dollars a year in trash fees. At Northeast Correctional Center, the food waste is taken from the kitchen and put into food dumpsters. A tractor carries the dumpster out to the composting area and dumps the food waste onto the ground. The wet waste is then mixed with sawdust to prepare it for the composter. The mixture is then loaded into the bin, which feeds the rotating cylinder of the composter. The composting process takes about 5 days. The nutrient-rich compost is then used on the grounds surrounding the prison and on the restorative justice gardens. Each division of the DOC recycles in some capacity. From probation and parole to the individual prisons, each entity usually at least recycles aluminum cans, paper, cardboard, and printer cartridges. At NECC, recyclables are brought into the recycling center and sorted by offenders. Offenders take the tabs off of aluminum cans to donate to the Ronald McDonald House Charity. Items such as cans and cardboard are baled. Through composting and recycling, NECC saves about $5,500 a month in trash hauling fees. Some of the institutions donate many of their recycled items to sheltered workshops to support the community. Money earned from taking recyclables to recycling centers is put into the Missouri State Recycling Fund. The Missouri State Recycling Program reports it is important for state agencies to do their part when it comes to recycling because recycling supports jobs and the economy. Recycling extends the life of landfills and is good stewardship of natural resources. Recycling can result in lower operating costs for waste hauling and generate revenue to sustain recycling programs. Recycling keeps valuable commodities in circulation for use as raw materials for manufacturing.
It's critically important for our department, and especially our offenders, to get involved in recycling for a number of reasons. One of them is I really believe that offenders should do all they can to give back to the communities where they transgressed. And the idea of recycling and their involvement in it is just that kind of an issue. In addition, of course, we have a huge responsibility since we have so many prisons, as an example, that produce a lot of recyclable material, whether it's food compost or cardboard or whatever it might be. I feel like we have an ethical responsibility as an agency to do that as well. So along with that responsibility ethically, we have the personnel in terms of offenders to do that. The best thing is that if those offenders can learn that basic work skill, which many of them have never done, it's really going to help them when they leave and go back into the community to secure employment. So, and we've had a number of people that have left and worked for recycling companies after they've learned how to do that to the best of their ability while with us. So for those two major reasons, the moral responsibility we have to the environment and to the citizens of Missouri, and the responsibility offenders have to give back, and this being a method to do that, I think are both critical, and we will continue to support that and look for new ways in which we can help with the recycling effort in our state.